So, welcome back students. We are basically discussing functional group based strategies, and today we will be talking about guideline 5. So, last week we talked about the protection group based strategies, and we have said that several protection groups and protecting groups can be used in a synthetic operation to efficiently or effectively tune the chemical reactivity of several functional groups. Now, guideline 5, if you remember the functional group based strategies, here we will be mainly talking about how you can introduce several appendages. Now, appendages, as I earlier discussed, appendages are basically hanging functional group through a acyclic chain or a cyclic chain. So, particularly here we will be more focused on how to introduce different kind of appendages by using key chemical transformations and which is basically purely based on functional group based strategies. Now, as obvious, we will be talking about some target molecule, and the target molecule which I am now drawing at the beginning is having a bicyclic lactone structure. Now, if you see the target, you will find it is a bicyclic lactone structure and having a vinyl appendage. We call this vinyl appendage, which is hanging from this ring fusion. So, this is the appendage we are talking about. So, how to introduce this kind of appendages? Normally, there is absolutely no flexible rule, depending on the FGI, depending on the transformation, you can introduce this appendage by any means, any methods. Now, as there are other functional groups also need to be constructed, so we will first try to formulate in this way. We say that okay, if the appendage we will not be doing the disconnection at the beginning, we first doing the disconnection at this lactone. The lactone basically was initially thought to be disconnected by this bond through a FGI. So, we all know that hydroxy acid can be easily be heated up, and that undergoes simple condensation reaction with the help of water elimination to give you this lactone. Now, this part, these things can be easily undergoing or retrosynthetically disconnected through a common FGI. That aldehyde can be converted to the corresponding alcohol and which then will condense. Now, this one now will be trying to give you a and then we need to is a CH2 these things. Yeah, we need to fuse this cyclic ring here. The drawing was little bit fine. So, you just need the vinyl appendages here. So, now if you see this is a cyclohexane and this vinyl appendages here, if you do some kind of oxidative cleavage here, that might give you this particular things, but you have a difficulties. You also have a vinylic appendages here, but that can be easily be controlled by one equivalent of ozonolysis. Ozone basically always touch the more substituted or more electronically rich double bonds. So, in that context, this double bond in the ring which is more substituted is more electronically rich. So, now the appendage is disconnected. The appendage disconnection now was done by a let us say okay, I will just try to put a ring in the this way, and then you see this appendage disconnection was now can be efficiently done by a vinyl, copper, lithium or a Gilman reagent. So, what happened? This is basically nothing a vinyl anion, it basically comes here, okay, goes there and O minus. So, this enol you basically trap it, and then you have vinyl, one double bond, you have a in between is a enol ether. Now, enol ethers are absolutely labile and they are electronically rich also. So, you can do a selective ozonolysis here to come here. So, this part is basically the appendage insertion, appendage insertion. Now, also there are other ways which also you can be potentially use. Now, this molecule if you do a disconnection something like this. Now, what is this? It is basically a Baeyer-Villiger transformation. Okay. A Baeyer-Villiger reaction in principle it can basically give you 2 lactone product. If this bond migrates it gives you this, if this bond migrates it will give you this other lactone, but if this bond migrates because this is a more substituted. So, Baeyer-Villiger oxidation also is a good way to introduce these things. Now, this basically you can now think about also using this one. So, there is a if you start this starting material, you do a vinyl copper lithium comes here and then gives you this compound, simple 1,4 addition, simple 1,4 addition. So, appendages are normally introduced at early stage or late stage depending on your functional group requirements, and you can basically think about introducing appendages at any point of time based on the appendage structure. So, next couple of problems which we will now discuss will be having similar appendages disconnection, where the appendages also contain some functional group. Like this particular molecule we say is a target molecule, is a cyclopentyl methylamine, and the starting material which was given to you cyclopentane carboxylic acid. It is basically purely FGI, the starting material already having a appendage or this functional group here. So, this is in true sense you can simply call it a FGI or functional group addition. Now, let us see what are the reactions you know which will basically give you to access this kind of compound. This is amine. Okay. So, amine in principle can be synthesized if you have a corresponding amide, is not it. So, amide is selectively reduced by a reducing agent like lithium aluminum hydride, you get the, this is a very conventional straightforward pathway. The amide can easily be prepared from corresponding acid chloride, and acid chloride can easily be prepared from the corresponding acid by using simple thionyl chloride. So, this is a straightforward FGI manipulation. You just do couple of FGI, there is nothing else, there is no name reaction involved, no transformation involved, it is very simple FGI, very simple FGI to introduce the particular appendages starting from this functional group, In a similar way, we will be talking about how different appendages or different functional groups need to be introduced at different reacting site of a given molecule. This particular problem which is based on a similar kind of approaches, is basically this compound is a natural product, its name is carisone. It is having antibacterial property, this compound is having antibacterial property. Now, if you see the structure is a bicyclic compound and one end having alpha beta unsaturated ketone, one end having a tertiary alcohol. The starting material I say starting material was given to you, I have given the starting material. The starting material was also given to you, fine. So, now you see that how you can correlate this starting material to this. Now, actually only differences with the starting material and this target is basically the starting material is having CO2Me and the target is having a tertiary alcohol. So, basically this appendage or this functional group you need to fine tune it, Now, if you do the retro of this particular target, it means that probably if you can protect this or something else, like you do a other way. I say I will be not doing the protection, I will be doing this way. Like if you have this intermediate which is basically allylic secondary alcohol and a tertiary alcohol, you can do a selective oxidation by a allylic oxidizing agent like manganese dioxide, which is known for allylic oxidation. Is not it? Now, coming to here, this compound basically is pretty much close, which you now can think about a retro by putting other groups in a similar, this is the ring junction, this will be hydrogen, this will be the methyl, you put a ester. Now, I said esters, if you use excess methyl magnesium iodide, which is already talked to you, you basically get a tertiary alcohol, that is fine. So, now use coated with the starting material. So, how this starting material can be converted to this allylic alcohol? You can simply do by Luche reduction, sodium borohydride, sodium chloride. So, all are basically very standard FGI, So, first take the starting material, do a Luche, it will come here. Okay. Then this Luche you do a excess methyl magnesium iodide excess and you get the tertiary alcohol. Okay. Then there is the tertiary alcohol is the allylic secondary alcohol, you do a simple allylic oxidation. So, here basically we are not using any protection, because allylic alcohols and tertiary alcohol there is no hydrogen, there is no abstractable hydrogen. So, in principle this will not undergo any kind of oxidation. That is a very standard straightforward problem. The next one will be a little bit complicated, but let us first do this structural analysis. It is given a spirocycle compound, a spirocycle epoxide, and this end having a TBS. This was the target molecule was given to you, and the starting material which was also given to you is having similar structure. So, basically the point is, if you now try to correlate the starting material and the target molecule, you need to introduce a epoxy appendage. So, you need to basically introduce a epoxy appendage at this part of this carbonyl compound. This epoxy appendage, to bring the epoxy appendage, basically you need to create a double bond, a pi bond. So, now let us do the retro. So, if you now try to do the retro, this part will be your O TBS, your. So, basically if you have this compound, you can easily create the epoxide. Actually, starting from this compound to create this compound seems to be little bit problematic. Now, if you remember earlier we said that cyclohexanone can be converted to cyclohexenone by selectively introducing a phenyl selenium chloride. So, which basically gives you a SEPH, and then this SEPH was subjected to oxidative rearrangement, which basically sodium periodate. It reacts in this way, selenium plus O minus and pH. Now, this O minus abstract this hydrogen, okay, and is undergoing a 2,3 sigma tropic rearrangement, 2,3 sigma tropic rearrangement to give you a cyclohexenone, which was already known. It is called selenoxide elimination, selenoxide scene elimination, and this is one of the very well known method to introduce a particular alpha beta unsaturated double bond adjacent to the carbonyl group. In addition, you can do by other ways also. Now, here if you see, you need to do similar kind of chemistry, but here you are having basically 2 hydrogen or 2 alpha positions, where in principle the selenium can attack. Now, out of these 2 hydrogens, you will find that this one is a relatively difficult, because it is close to the OTBS thing. So, now we will do the forward synthesis by analyzing the steric bulk of this OTBS group, which was present in the starting material. Starting material is this. Now, I say I will be using a LDA. So, LDA basically we will try to pick up this hydrogen, which is kinetically easily labile, and then you use pH SeCl. So, basically we will get this SePH. So, steric bulk of particularly this group, steric bulk of this group basically dictates that whether this hydrogen will be abstracted or this will be abstracted. As this is in close proximity, this hydrogen will not be abstracted by the base, and now as it was already abstracted, you just do the selenoxide scene elimination, sodium periodate and little bit heat, basically end up with OTBS and this. Now, see, you have already created a alpha beta unsaturated carbonyl thing, and your target you now need to introduce a epoxy appendages. Now, as I say, you cannot use MCPBA, because this double bond is already electron deficient. This double bond is now electron deficient, and MCPBA is also a electron deficient oxidizing agent. Now, so here you need to use a different reagent conditions, which you already used earlier, the hydrogen peroxide and sodium hydroxide, that basically gives you a hydroperoxide anion, and then if you react this hydroperoxide and hydrogen peroxide combination, will basically end up with this epoxide. So, this epoxide appendage introduction was efficiently done by a series of reaction, not series of reaction. The initial thing is a kinetic enolization, because the steric bulk of this OTBS group will make it possible the sterically less crowded or less less congested hydrogen will be abstracted by the base. Treat with phenyl selenium chloride and you get SCPH, selenium oxide acid elimination, then you do a electron deficient, the solvent becomes electron deficient. So, you need a electron rich oxidizing agent, and that is basically undergoing, it is not oxidizing agent, it is a nucleophilic type of attack first. So, OH minus attack in the 1,4 Michael fashion, and then you have this particular epoxide appendage can be introduced. This is a very nice and interesting strategies. Next problem we will be trying to figure it out on a similar kind of thing. You say you are giving a cyclobutane based target and the appendage where you need to introduce a NH2 appendage, this particular functional group or appendage. Well, the starting material also is given to you. I have given you the starting material. I said I am giving you the starting material, this one. Okay. If you try to analyze that how you can close it, you see the number of carbons are almost similar. This starting material is having 3 carbon framework, 1, 2, 3, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So, 1 carbon extra you need to introduce at some point. Now, do a very standard FGI, the initial FGI which you will be thinking is something like this. This is a very well known name reaction, is a Hofmann type reaction. Hofmann rearrangement, amide to amine, RCONH2 to RNH2, which is a standard reaction, which probably all of you are known in this 10+2 chemistry. So, Hofmann reaction is a very important reaction, and now this Hofmann amide basically you can easily construct from the corresponding carboxylic acid. This is also now a very well known FGI. Now, this FGI we now try to correlate how the starting material can be will be created from a corresponding carboxylic ethyl ester OPMB. Now, what we will do? We will basically cut here, and then now we will do a disconnection, which is the main disconnection. Is a OPMB we put, we set CH2Br and CH2Br or any good living group like iodo, and then here you will be having a diethyl malonate kind of thing, which will basically gives this particular carbon. Now, diethyl malonate, as all of you know, now let us go to the forward synthesis. So, forward synthesis start with diethyl malonate, react with a base sodium methoxide, generate the carbanion ion, one equivalent of, there are 2 acidic hydrogens. So, in principle both can be abstracted one by one, and the electrophile which is there is Br. Now, this Br it can be easily synthesized from the starting material, which is given to you by a double Appel reaction. Appel reaction we have already talked about, is a double Appel reaction. Okay. So, now you do the successive round of coupling with this diethyl malonate to get this product CO2 ET. Now, what you do? You basically do the hydrolysis, base hydrolysis and heat it. So, one it will be dicarboxylic acid, and upon heating mono decarboxylation takes place and will basically get this carboxylic acid, cyclobutane carboxylic acid. So, now almost quite close. So, what you do? you convert this carboxylic acid to corresponding acid chloride by treatment with thionyl chloride, and then ammonia treatment, which will basically give you the corresponding amide you will get, and then you do the Hoffman rearrangement that will basically give you the corresponding amine. The transformation was very simple, but the appendages which we introduced amine appendages, and it was with the help of a particular diethyl malonate, which basically gives you the 1 carbon. So, this is 3 carbon starting material, you introduce a 1 carbon extra to close the cyclobutane ring, and then finally, you complete the synthesis. So, this is a very simple way or straightforward way you can continue this kind of approaches. We will be stopping our discussion by discussing a very simple molecule, a simple target molecule. The target molecule is basically something like this, where the double bond geometry is jet, the target molecule I say, and the starting material which was given a cyclohexene, a starting material was given to you. Now, if you try to analyze this thing, we will say that this is basically the appendage, this is the appendage which needs to be introduced. So, now let us disconnect. If you are having a compound like this, okay. So, you can basically do a hydrogenation with Lindlar catalyst. So, this appendage, now how you can introduce a alkyne appendage. Alkyne appendage can be converted to a olefinic appendage by hydrogenation. Now, you see this particular alkyne appendage you can easily create it if you having a MgBr, and this you can easily construct it from this cyclohexene. So, what you do? You first react with alkyne magnesium bromide, ring will open up, you will get this OH and this alkyne. So, the product which you will basically get a OH and this methyl. Next, basically you need to do a 1-2 elimination by simple acid treatment and heat. So, that will basically give you the ine, and then you do a selective alkyne reduction with the Lindlar catalyst. So, this also basically gives you a very nice demonstration of this appendage insertion or appendage introduction through a stepwise way. So, we will continue this appendage disconnection in next week also, and till then go to the assignments and try to study and have a good time. Goodbye.